Hello and welcome! We are playing The Driver, Takeshiba, Chapter 5. Heartpiercer, was it the name of the chapter? I think it was Heartpiercer. We shall continue this story of trying to avoid the assassinations. I still wonder if there will be some romantic elements to all of this in the end. Anywho, weeks and months have passed, and since the last attempt on Lady Hinode's life back in the summer, everything fell quiet. Perhaps the killers were just waiting for her to drop her guard. Or they were plotting a different plan. But either way, it was, for now, peaceful. Just for now. And as the winter set in, the drives to and from the work, she was realizing more and more that it was the time, this time, she looked forward to the most. A time when everything was white around her. I liked that too, as if being cocooned by a blanket. At the time, she was alone. Earlier this winter, it was nice when it was -1, -2, maybe -3, maybe a little lower at night, like usual. But there was snow everywhere. Ah, that was so nice. And recently, it's like hitting -19, so I'm... how about let's not do that? And obviously the snow, no, not to be seen. Dude, it's crazy cold. Anyway, at the time she was alone. Not in her mansion, where a certain loneliness was felt through the empty space. But here, where being alone meant safety. And yes, Takeshiba-kun was there, always, but that did nothing to that feeling. She was still alone. Just alone. With him. Sometimes they would even talk a little. They used to talk more before the series of attacks took place not too long ago. Attacks that even when they stopped, left her with a lot of thoughts. And every time she was alone with her driver, it was the only time she was willing to let those thoughts into her heart. She would still occasionally mention something that happened to her or something she found interesting. But it felt like more often than not, she was content with just silence. She felt safe. Being there, like that. Safe enough to let all the thoughts she feared in. And maybe with time, things would get better. Maybe he... But Lady Hinode's thoughts were interrupted by a phone call. An overwhelming sense of weakness overcame her. Oh, it's not a phone call. The sound of... Yes, it was the phone call. Ah! The sound of the phone, the intercom. The sound she had almost forgotten. The sound of death. Damn! Dude, if the previous one was ready to, like, go in any terrain, this one is even on a higher level. Winter is the best season. Would you agree, Lady Hinode? Oh. Okay. Right. She has a sore throat. A female voice came through the speakers inside the car. It makes you feel the melancholy of a pure snowfall. It makes us tell the truth, confess, baby. Again, sore throat. You never know what can happen when you have a sore throat to your voice. She said in a slightly mischievous tone, the honesty of which was hard to determine. Lady Hinode was overwhelmed with shock. It wasn't over. They were back. Oh, I'm sorry. There is no need to be alarmed. Your frail nerves need not worry. I have not come to kill you. The opposite, in fact. What are you? Lady Hinode replied, shaken, despite the assurances of the assailant. Slowly, slowly, Lady Hinode. Allow me to introduce myself. I am... She's kinda okay. Maybe if it wasn't for the angry expression, she'd be cute. Eradicatia Assassineva, or maybe it's the name. The cold contractor, abandoned by love, a winter in the soul yearns for warmth of memories. Oh, you know what? You know what this gives me the vibes of a little bit? And it's just the way she looks. Not the hair color, but still the way she looks. Why do I get the Spy Family vibes? Like she might be kind of inspired by Fiona. That was her name, right? Fiona. I haven't watched like the last season of Spy Family, and I haven't watched the movie as well. So my memory might be incorrect. I think it was Fiona. Yeah, Fiona Frost, I was correct. I mean, Fiona is kinda hot, not gonna lie. But, yeah, she needs fixing when it comes to personality a bit. Anyway. And yeah, Fiona has no chance winning with your man. No chance. But, oh, my sore throat is gone. But I want you to call me a different name. And if you don't tell the driver of yours to dash away and give me but a few months of your time, I shall explain everything. I suppose? Lady Hinode said, tentatively surprised. Thank you, thank you. You see, we are... but no, let me tell you everything first. You'll see. The woman said, almost ecstatically. Her voice now sounded completely genuine. I've been observing, studying you for so many months now, my dear Kazumi. I know everything about you. Oh. She said, and Lady Hinode realized. And I didn't make my move. I told them I would not fail, or else I'd take my own life. I have bet everything on you, so you must listen. You must. Fuck. Your name is crazy. Eradicatia. Oh. Okay, so it's Katya and kind of eradicate. Dude, if you did... Okay, I see what you've done there. Said with passion in her voice. I don't want to kill you or your driver. Okay. Silence. To Eradicatia, the unmistakable proof that her words have gotten the attention of the other woman. I spent so long on this plan. I'll come straight to the point. I can end this running. Do you understand? But... No, hear me out. They will keep sending people like me until you are gone, until the threat is eliminated. Oh, so go into hiding or something? Or like just disappear or whatever? Eradicatia said once again, making Lady Hinode realize the situation she was in. It really would never stop. Then all is lost anyway. Lady Hinode said, as if for the first time realizing the true scale of the operation against her. It's not, sweet Kazumi, it isn't. There is a way. All they truly care about is the company. I'll betray them, make them believe you died, and take the money. And then I'll give you enough means to disappear and start a new life, the life you truly want. Isn't that, by the way, something that actually, you know, there are supposedly like companies or whatever for in Japan? I guess they might not be like official companies. But like they literally kind of make you disappear, but not like erase you. But, you know, you can escape basically. I'm totally checking that. The businesses that assist the Johatsu are called Yonigeya, Midnight Escape Agents. These establishments are relatively accessible and have their own websites. One particular Yonigeya could charge between 50,000 yen and 300,000 yen. Okay. For its services, which depend on a number of factors. Can you guys do that outside of Japan as well? This phenomenon can be seen all over the world. United States, yeah, I can understand why you would want to escape that. China, I kinda would see that as well. South Korea, okay. United Kingdom, I kind of understand why native people of UK would want to escape their country now. And Germany as well. Huh. In Japanese work culture, dude, you can't call what is over there, what is being done, like a culture. This is not a culture. Work culture, no. Listen, I might not be someone criticizing Japan a lot, even if I've never been there. But whatever the hell is happening in works over there is ridiculous. Yeah. And I bet actually Japanese people would agree with that, even though they also might not want to say that out loud. And so on. Dude, I imagine myself like, if I were in Japan, having to work for a Japanese company, I'm like, arrive, let's say 8 a.m., 4 p.m. hits, I'm out. Dude, I can imagine like a lot of people would having some weird looks. Basically coworkers. Dude, at the same time, I feel like if you are basically not Japanese and you start your own company there, dude, you can totally like basically win people to work for you just with giving like a normal treatment. Like, yeah, you done with your work? Yeah. Go home, man. What are you waiting for? Yeah. Because supposedly people just wait there until, I don't know, like the higher position people are done. It's kind of weird. Anyway. That's impossible. Lady Hinode replied, shaking. I can hear it in your voice. The longing, the dream. You haven't abandoned it yet. You still think you can have the life you always dreamed of. Isn't that right? I can't just abandon everything. Of course you can. We both can. And with that, Eradicatia Assassinevas car came up behind them. It was a mass of fuel-hungry metal. This is what they mean when they say racing tank. The bear only needs to hit once. Durumas 4-on-4. Medveshonok. I mean, considering that this sounds like a Russian car, I would say this car will not be that dangerous. Come on. Imagine thinking that a Russian car could pose a danger to anyone. Come on. It will fall apart on one turn. Anyway. I truly mean no harm, Kazumi. There is no need to run away. She said as the Medveshonok came down the sloping hill. As if wanting to drive beside them to see her through the window, Eradicatia was following the Ica storm very closely. Even now he's protecting you. He doesn't trust me. Said Eradicatia, obviously referring to Takeshiba. Number 23, huh? I wonder if there is a meaning behind it for her. He was keeping the car ready to evade at any moment. Takeshiba-kun. Lady Hinode said almost to herself as the dark realization was starting to emerge in her heart. Yes, your driver, Takeshiba-kun you call him. There is no greater beauty than simplicity, you know. What are you saying? Exactly what you may. Fear, I suppose. Indeed, my offer is as simple and as pure as your skillful young companion. No. Lady Hinode said with a bitter realization in her voice, already fighting her voice that was ready to break at any moment. Yes, my dear sweet Kazumi, daughter of Junichiro Hinode, my offer is your life for that boy, who you are so transparently in love with. That's... She burst into tears again. She kinda goes into tears way too easily. But no, don't cry, Kazumi. That is a happy moment, I assure you. I know that you really do love that boy, but I'm being completely honest when I say I'll love him just as much. More even. I was right. I knew you would have the Fiona vibes. But how can you even say a thing like that? How can you possibly know him? How can you know you are good for him? It's everything, my precious Katsumi. I see how he drives, communicating through the way he handles the car. He tells me everything. Huh? No more tears, Katsumi, no more before I start to cry too. It all need to not be said. It can even be a wonderful thing. We can be sisters, you and I. We'll both love him in different ways. Okay, that's a little different approach than Fiona, but still weird. Eradicatya said, the truth her words stinging Lady Hinode like a sharp needle. Unless your dream is... Why are you doing this? Interrupted Lady Hinode at the very last second before Eradicatya could finish the sentence. So it's true then. I really hoped you would realize. It does matter because I can't. It's not my... You're never wrong, it's me. One word from you and he will run to me and serve me because he's so loyal to you. And when you deny yourself to him and then you love me, he will learn, he will fall in love with me. And only you can do it. Only you can say those words to him. So say them, Kasumi, and make us sisters. Why are you talking about him that way? As if he was... That's not how it is, Lady Hinode. No, it's quite the opposite. Eradicatia's tone suddenly changed as she heard Lady Hinode's still resistance. They will not understand the generosity of her proposal. Everyone will be happy. Happier than they could ever be now. Eradicatia began to suspect. Eradicatia's voice hesitated for a second, but ultimately her emotions came through. I treat him more lovingly than you, because I don't feel I need to protect him, she said in an angry voice. I don't think I am unworthy his kind heart. How could you be worth to breathe the same air as he? Lady Hinode became agitated. Oh, how? Because I would give him what you can't. A kiss, an embrace, a family in the future. If he was mine, I would surely already have kissed him. I would have told him how I felt about him. I'd give up everything for him. This is life too. No! Cried Lady Hinode in desperation. At once she felt ashamed, betrayed, ridiculed, and scolded. And I can give you a chance for a family of your own. You can be happy with someone, and so can he with me, because at this you know in your heart he deserves me. Eradicatia's words spoke with conviction and purity of heart, felt like a knife being twisted inside of Lady Hinode. Takeshiba-kun, please, save me from this witch. I cannot take it anymore. Lady Hinode broke down. Over just words. Okay. She knew she was being selfish, manipulative, and for the first time openly used Takeshiba-kun. But she saw no other way. No matter how she thought of herself, she was willing to betray that image and even live a lie. What she couldn't do was give up being in his presence, being near him. Girl, you need to Tell your true feelings already. What are you waiting for? Like, quite literally. I see. Erdicatia said, with a hint of sadness and contempt in her voice. We all need to protect what we need, at all costs. She added. So if you should die, you'll die in shame for what you just did. But if you live, well, you'll live forever, be the woman who betrayed the very virtue that would justify you being worthy of him. It's a sacrifice to be respected. I hope his love is worth your lives, said Erdicatia with her voice trembling. His love would be worth everything of mine, said Lady Hinode, whispering inaudibly, her lips barely moving. It's what you need to say out loud, woman. And none of that was lost on Eradicatia. At once she saw in Lady Hinode a woman like herself who had to defend what was dear to her by any means necessary. Ben, I should take him from you and make you forget your death, Eradicatia said, and reluctantly bumped into the Ica storm. Perhaps she was hoping for one last time that Lady Hinode would come to her senses, call for her to stop, save her own life. But if it had to be done, so be it. The second was sharper, more direct, as Eradicatia stole a glance at Takeshiba behind the wheel. Such singular drive, such beauty, she thought, and all that at the mercy of that vile, undeserving woman. The Aka storm quickly moved to change direction, but Erigatia's snow tires were dancing around the white city car. I mean, technically, that even if it's a city car, you should have winter tires in these conditions. Come on. It's crazy to me how... I mean, I guess it happens in Poland as well. When someone is dumb, even it doesn't change the tires to winter ones. But I feel like with some countries, I think UK, USA for sure, you can see, the videos and they're like, dude, just get winter tires. What is wrong with you? Anyway, there was no advantage that the driver, even of Takeshiba's caliber, could gain. As a stroke, the Duromas was behind the Ica storm. Inside, Lady Hinode's eyes were overflowing with tears. She has done an irredeemable thing, and used the innocence of Takeshiba-kun for a selfish purpose. But there was no other way. And if they ever made it out of his life, she would beg his forgiveness for the rest of her life. An angry bump sent the Ica storm into the deep snow along the road. Not hesitating for a millisecond, Takeshiba floored the gas pedal and buried the car even deeper. There was quite a lot of lost momentum, but the Ica storm kept moving. Immediately, Takeshiba activated the nitrous boost, and flames shot straight into the front of the Medvez Honok. You make it easier for her then. The Ica storm was still moving, getting to the end of the snow dune and even picking up speed with less resistance. Meanwhile, the heat of the Eradicatia's car was becoming critical, and just as they cut through the dune, she had to swerve in order to not catch fire from the nitrous exhausts. Takeshiba used this to instantly change direction to the right, the opposite of Duromas. On the back seat, Lady Hinode was watching the spectacle, trembling. Her eyes were fixated on her driver, whose movements and focus changed so much it brought her to the verge of tears. Immediately she knew it was what she had said, what she had explicitly asked of him, to protect her from what she marked as danger. Because until now, he was the one to assess the threat. But now it was she who told him the intensity of that threat to her. And now she could, without a shadow of doubt, feel how much in pain he was. The way he operated the car, it wasn't the usual precise but light way. Instead, now his movements were cold and utilitarian. And as the Duromas was inevitably catching up to them, Lady Hinode was overcome with almost a sense of fear. Not fear of the assassin, but the fear of how the encounter would end. Yuichi! She suddenly screamed, bursting into tears. She just wanted to wake up from this nightmare. Take back those words, be stronger, and endure the terrible woman's attempts to take Takeshiba couldn't away from her. That was what she was here for. And she let him down. Let her emotions take over. Let those long years of loneliness get to her. Lady Hinode, Takeshiba suddenly said, turning around as if shocked by the sound of her words. His eyes were looking straight at her in shock. For a second, she felt like... But then... a great mass hit them from behind. The Medves Honok was attacking them once again. It spun the Ica Storm sideways, and right after that, Eredikatia turned to press against the middle of the car. How did it feel, Lady Hinode? Eredikatia said as she was pushing the Ica Storm into the snow to immobilize them. Lady Hinode was still shaking, but seeing Takeshiba couldn't movements as he tried to counter the Medves Honok's force. She realized that the opposing woman was right. Do you understand now? She continued. He would be happy if it's my arms that Tebra skip my hands and play with his hair and my lips that... Eredikatia stopped for a second, but Lady Hinode didn't react. She was crying silently, tears flowing down her cheeks once again. Kiss, kiss. She finished her sentence, slowly realizing how much Lady Hinode held back. She smiled while letting go of the throttle, feeling that the Ica Storm was now stuck. But then, in the Ica Storm... Kazumi, close your eyes. Son Takeshiba said, turning to Lady Hinode. It was as if an electric shock suddenly struck her entire body. Without trying to realize what had just happened, she instinctively closed her eyes as a series of small explosions shook the car and flooded everything around them in blinding light. Takeshiba was releasing flash grenades which had been recently installed from the back of the car. The explosions generated enough force and heat to loosen the white prison they were in. Okay. Takeshiba immediately backed into the opening created by the blasts. And even though Eredikatia took a second to recover from the flash, she too did not hesitate to follow them, as the chase continued on a large frozen lake. Damn. And even though the Duromos Medves Honok did have more fitting tires, on ice the cars were evenly matched with no traction. Relying purely on the finesse of their drivers to outmaneuver one another. Well then, Takeshiba has the advantage here. You know why? Ultimately, the Ica Storm was able to create distance between the cars and took the chance to head for the exit road. Obviously, because Ica Storm is lighter. Or maybe there's another reason. But once on snow again, the Drumos picked up speed rapidly, closing in Takeshiba and Lady Hinode. He'll never love you like he would love me! Suddenly, Eredikatia screamed through the tears. It was apparent to her, from how she saw Takeshiba drive, that he felt inwardly happy again. Which also meant that Lady Hinode was able to make that happen for him. And doubts crept into her mind. Would she be able to do this? Were she in the same situation? But it didn't matter anymore. There was no way for her to sever their bond except for force, by force. And the last chance would be now. The unusually tall snow mounds around the narrow road they were on. She could not afford to wait anymore. And just as she was thinking of how to best attack, it was the Ica Storm turning left sharply on the slippery surface. As if defying the laws of physics, Takeshiba balanced the car right at the very edge of the adhesion, making the turn at the last possible moment with the highest possible speed. And Eredikatia knew she would not be able to make it, and the only option was to go right through and cut the Ica Storm off on the other side, and with some luck hitting the right rear side of the white car too. With maximum power applied, Eredikatia broke through the snow, but Takeshiba had made the second turn just as precisely and quickly as the first. There was no catching them. With the gap that would open, Eredikatia would slam to the road and be back where she started. But Takeshiba didn't fully get on the throttle once he had cleared the turn. He accelerated slightly slower, and at that moment Eredikatia Assassineva knew that her fate was sealed. Being in the way of her trajectory just enough to unbalance her car, Takeshiba let the tip of the Duramos hit them and bounce off, using the heavy car's own momentum against it. A millisecond later, the Medvez Honok was out of Erdikatia's control. It lifted up into the air and landed hard into the deep snow. He will never love you like he would love me. The last words of Erdikatia still echoed in Lady Hinode's mind. I'm sorry, Takeshiba-kun, she said suddenly. Takeshiba looked at her, not understanding what she meant. I mean, for before, when I said that... She continued, thinking of confessing to him how she was terrified of losing him, and how it brought her to self. She commanded him to save her from Erdikatia. Just say it. But... No, but say it. I would... Sonny Takeshiba replied. I would do whatever you would tell me. He said, honestly, and before he even finished, Lady Hinode started crying, tears flooding her face. Thank you. Takeshiba-kun, thank you, but... She said, her words almost impossible to understand as she said them through her tears. Come on, girl! Stop crying and say it! Takeshiba-kun, Lady Hinode said when everything calmed down and snow started to fall. Yes, Lady Hinode. Could we take the country road? Do you know sometimes we take it with the church? Yes, we can take it. It is a longer way. Takeshiba responded and Lady Hinode nodded silently. Yes, it is. And... surprisingly, no ending to the chapter, so let's continue. It's been weeks since the torment that the most recent assassin has inflicted upon Lady Hinode. And while before she seemed to recover relatively quickly, this time she knew it wasn't going to happen. The previous killers have progressively made her weaker and weaker, unable to heal on her own anymore. And Erdikatia's assault finally broke her. Okay, and she has used him. Lied to him. You didn't lie to him. And caused irreversible damage to what was between them. What? Girl, you're making it up in your own head. She was now no better than any one of them. But was there even another way? Another way of her and him? Would she still be here in this car with him, driving? Would she not be alone? Okay. Actually, there was an end to this chapter. So, let's end the video here. And we'll continue tomorrow. And we'll see where it goes. This girl, man. And you know what would solve all the problems she has? If she decided to speak up her feelings. That's how it works. Anyway, let us end the video. And tomorrow we'll get to the next one. I assume another assassination coming, basically. With all of that being said, as always, hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider liking the video. And if you're new around, consider subscribing. Always super appreciated if you decided to stick around. Super grateful for that. Yeah. Anyway, I wish you a fantastic day. And continuation tomorrow, as I already said. Bye-bye.